Are you a renter? If so, you're in good company because 500,000 households in Houston rent their apartments. And renter numbers keep growing as Houston continues to draw new residents to our great city. Welcome to this episode of Better Apartment, Better Life. I am your host, Jack, the Apartment Guru. In previous episodes, I explained that I've been a landlord for 33 years and that I've run thousands of apartments over that period of time. I also shared with you many pointers on how you can find an apartment community that would provide to you and to your family both great security and superior customer service without breaking the bank. I even showed how some less expensive apartment complexes will actually give you much better service than the more expensive ones. In this episode 4, I want to discuss a mistake that I've seen many renters make, which is when a renter uses a locator to find an apartment instead of finding the apartment on their own. From what I've just said, you might think I have something against locators, which I don't. I personally know dozens of locators, and all of them are very nice people. But I started this YouTube channel to help renters, not locators, and so I gotta tell you like it is, which is what I've done in all my videos so far, and which is what I'm gonna do in this video right now. So the bottom line, at least in my opinion, is that most renters can do far better job of finding an apartment on their own than if they rely on a locator. Why are locators not the best way to find the best apartment for you? The main reason that locators are not a good way to find your next apartment is that locators have a huge conflict of interest. Basically, and as I will explain further in this video, locators work for their commissions, not for you. As you may know, locators are paid a commission by the apartment complex that they refer you to, and therefore locators will refer you to the apartment complex that pays them the most money, and not to the apartment complex that is best for you. If all apartments paid locators the same commission, this would not be a conflict of interest, but in fact, the amount of commissions paid by different apartments varies wildly. You may not know that many apartment complexes do not pay locators any commission at all. In other words, those complexes do not work with locators. Let's make up an apartment complex that we will call ABC Apartments. If ABC Apartments does not pay locators any commission, how often do you think locators will refer their clients to ABC Apartments? If you guessed never, you guessed correctly. What is interesting is that many apartment complexes like ABC Apartments that do not pay locators a commission are excellently run and would be a great place for you to live, and yet no locator will ever tell you about these apartments. The reason that many excellently run apartments don't pay a commission to locators is because these apartments, like ABC Apartments, don't have to pay locators a commission because they're close to 100% occupied without any locator referrals. Why do you suppose these excellently run apartments are close to 100% occupied? Often because they offer great benefits at a good price. And yet, no locator will ever refer you to an apartment complex that does not pay the locator any commission. This conflict of interest goes even further. Let's assume that ABC Apartments charges $1,000 for a one-bedroom, while XYZ Apartments charges $1,500. And let's say both properties pay locators a 100% commission, which means that ABC will pay the locator $1,000 if you move there, and XYZ will pay the same locator $1,500 if you move to XYZ. Where do you think the locator will refer you to most of the time? If you guessed XYZ, the more expensive apartments, you guessed right. So think about this. A locator will never refer you to an apartment complex that doesn't work with locators, and locators will usually refer you to a more expensive apartment, even if the less expensive apartments are a better value. Let's take one final example, but this one is a real example. Westview Forest Apartments, which I know well because I run it. Continuing with Westview Forest Apartments, our 726 square foot, one bedroom start at $960 a month. If you read our reviews, you will see we have far better reviews than most apartment complexes, charging hundreds of dollars more than we do. As you will see from the reviews, Westview Forest is fully fenced, and we have a guardhouse that is staffed 24/7, 365, which none of our competitors have. We have 2 completely remodeled pools, 2 laundry facilities, and multiple barbecue areas. Due to extra insulation and new air conditioners, our electric bills are about half what they would be at another property. We have beautiful apartments, and we repair 95% of the maintenance requests on the same day that they come in. We welcome dogs of all breeds and all sizes, as long as the pup is not aggressive. We don't charge pet rent, and we even have a beautiful dog park. Our location is amazing, and we will even guarantee that the property will never flood. Yeah, I know that sounds crazy, but it's actually true. But we only pay locators a 50% commission, meaning that if a locator refers someone who moves into our $960 one bedroom, the locator will get $480 from us. But if that same locator refers someone to the apartment complex that charges $1,500 for a one bedroom, and that apartment complex pays a 100% commission, the locator will get a $1,500 commission, which is a whole lot better for the locator than $480. So where do you think the locator will refer you? Obviously, the locator will refer you to the property where the locator will get a $1,500 check, rather than to Westview Forest, where the locator will only get a $480 check. And that is the case even though Westview Forest is a far better value than the expensive $1,500 property. You may wonder how I know what I'm telling you in this video. And the answer is that I know this because over a dozen locators have told this to me. Here is how that happened. We advertised to locators last year through a special service that locators subscribed to, and I was surprised that the advertising got us almost no traffic from locators. So I spent a lot of time talking to several dozen locators. Heck, I even took one locator to lunch and went out on a couple of dates with another. Not kidding, true story. And more than a dozen of these locators told me point blank, Westview Forest rents are low, and you're only paying a 50% commission, so I'm not going to refer prospects to you when another complex is paying me a commission that is triple what Westview Forest will pay me. There's another way to check if what I'm telling you is true. If you're working with a locator right now, or if you know a locator, send this video to the locator and ask him or her if what I'm saying is correct. One final negative of relying on locators to find you an apartment is that it gives you a false sense of security, and therefore you don't do your own research. Indeed, the locator will send you links to virtual tours and pictures of the property's gym, which you will never use. And of course, the property will tell you about wine tastings, which you will never attend because you work 2 jobs and have kids to take care of. Based on what the locator sends you, you will think the apartment complex will be perfect for you. But had you done your own research, read the reviews, and investigated the apartment complex in more detail on your own, you might have learned that the locator recommended apartment complex isn't so great. As I explained in my earlier videos, there is no substitute for reading the reviews, meeting the property staff. How did they treat you? Did they answer all your questions? And walking the property on a Saturday night, are people hanging around drinking outside? But if you believe the locator wouldn't have referred you to a bad apartment complex, you may skip the above research and end up in a property that looks great on a virtual tour, but is not that great once you're living there. Let me give you an example. The picture you see here is from a review by a tenant that was living at one of the most expensive apartment complexes in West Houston. Obviously, this gentleman was not really happy with this super expensive apartment complex. And if you read the other reviews for that apartment complex, you would probably not live there, and yet it probably pays locators very well, meaning the most locators will refer you there if it's within the budget you submit to the locator. In my view, the place you live at has a huge impact on your and your family's safety and happiness. And I'm sorry to tell you this, but there are no shortcuts to finding an apartment community that will best serve your needs. It's an important decision to make, and it's going to require some effort on your part. If you want some hints on what to look for, have a look at my other videos. Before I close, I do want to point out the obvious, which is that there may be some locators who don't care about their commission and instead will refer you to the best place for you. Based on 33 years of dealing with locators, I can assure you that locators who do not refer you in a way that maximizes their commissions are quite rare. In addition, it is crystal clear that no locator will ever refer you to an apartment community that does not pay any locator commissions, which is unfortunate because, as we discussed before, some of the best apartment complexes around do not pay locator commissions. Finally, I want to say to any locators who might be watching this that I realize that locators are not going to be happy with me, but I invite them to submit hopefully respectful comments if they think I'm missing something. If you enjoyed this video, please like this video and watch my other videos as well. And if you subscribe below, you'll be notified every time I drop a new video, and I usually drop 1 or 2 videos every week or so. And if you have a question, please leave it in the comments and I will answer your question in a future video. Thanks for watching. I hope this video has been helpful to you. The dog you see here knows there are no shortcuts to finding an apartment, and he's out and about looking for the best place to call home.